How do you know if you should become a minimalist? For me, it didn't happen all at once. It started as these small changes like decluttering here and there, until one day I realized just how much lighter and freer my life had become. Since then, as I have taken minimalism more seriously and helped others to simplify their own lives, I have identified 12 key signs that indicate it could be truly beneficial for you too. Let's dive in. Number 1, your wardrobe is overflowing, but you have nothing to wear. It feels like the more options you have, the harder it gets to decide. Instead of inspiring you, your wardrobe becomes a source of stress. Sometimes the issue isn't just visible clutter, but clothes buried in drawers or to the back of the closet. You might stumble upon items you forgot you even owned, or worse, you buy something new because you didn't realize that you already had it. I believe that when you have 10 options instead of 87 options, suddenly choosing an outfit becomes much easier and even enjoyable. You can focus on clothes that fit well, make you feel confident, and match the life that you are living now, not the one that you used to have or think you might have one day. And just to clarify, minimalism isn't about depriving yourself of clothes you love wearing. It's about making room for what serves you and letting go of what doesn't. 2. Do the 15-minute test. This is a simple way to see if minimalism could help you. Set a timer for 15 minutes and challenge yourself to find 20 items you no longer need and you could just declutter. These are things that you haven't used in months and you don't see yourself using or needing in the near future either. I think here the number 20 is enough to push you to think critically, but not so overwhelming that it feels impossible to get to that. If you easily surpass the 20 item mark and can find the 20 things in like a couple of minutes, it's probably a sign that you have a lot of unnecessary stuff in your living space. This means it's time for you to reflect on what you bring into your home and why, and what are the things that you are keeping and why. On the other hand, if you struggle to reach the 20 item mark, so everything you find you already use or you can see yourself needing in the upcoming months, that's a great sign that you are already being intentional about what you own and what you keep. If 20 feels too much or too little for you, feel free to adjust this goal to suit your own living situation. For example, I did a 1-hour decluttering session a couple of months back, and even as a minimalist, I found almost 80 things. I think the exact number was 79. But I knew that I hadn't decluttered in a long time, that's why I was doing it, so that number was kind of for me expected. So the idea here is to take a small step and evaluate your space, evaluate your kind of needs and what could be the next steps for you. So it's about noticing patterns, habits, and whether simplifying could bring more balance to your life or if you are doing very well already. Sign number 3, you rarely have time for yourself or to simply do nothing. Do you constantly feel busy, like there's something always demanding your attention? Your schedule might be packed with commitments, work, social events, errands, leaving little to no room for yourself or for just being. Do you ever feel guilty when you try to rest, like taking a break is somehow selfish or lazy? It's a heavy weight to carry, especially when rest should be something that helps you recharge, not something that adds stress. Living this way can really quickly take a toll, and over time, this will most likely lead to a burnout and a sense of disconnect. By simplifying your commitments and focusing only on what aligns with your values and priorities, you can create breathing room in your life. When you dedicate time to yourself, life feels much calmer and more fulfilling. This sense of freedom starts to feel like a part of everyday life and not just a distant dream. 4. You feel lost or stuck. This feeling can show up in many ways. Maybe you struggle to prioritize because there are so many choices or distractions pulling you in different directions. And instead of moving forward, you feel overwhelmed, unsure where to focus your energy. Or you could feel that no matter what you do or how much you do, it's never enough. It's as if you are constantly busy but not making real progress toward what matters the most to you. Over time, this can make it easy to lose touch with your priorities or even forget what they are. So the lack of clear direction or vision for your life is another sign. So if you recognize yourself in this, it might mean that it's time to explore a more intentional way of living where there's less noise, less things happening, but more clarity and purpose. Sign number 5, you have a hard time focusing even on things that are important. I used to struggle a lot with this one, and I think that it's a pretty clear sign. You might find yourself frequently distracted, constantly pulled away from tasks by notifications, interruptions, background noise, or even your own thoughts. You might feel restless and unable to focus on things both short-term and long-term. Rather than being present or working on the task you know need your attention, you might find yourself reaching for your phone, turning on the TV, or just getting lost in some other distractions. And as many of us might already know, this often leaves you feeling even more frustrated later. Simplifying your environment and setting up the right systems can really help you to find this clarity, calm, and deep focus. This is something that I really focus on in my online course, Simple Life Blueprint, so that you'll be able to let go of the overwhelm of mental and physical clutter, the stress of feeling stuck or unsure of what to do, and the constant distractions and overstimulation. The course is 50% off this week only, so if you are interested in simplifying your life as we move into 2025 and want practical systems, tools, and exercises to help you in this journey, consider enrolling before the sale ends. I'll leave a link in the description so you can learn more about it. The sign number 6 is that you're always tidying but never feel done. Spending hours tidying, organizing, and cleaning only to have clutter reappear a couple of days later can be really exhausting. It's as if no matter how much effort you put in, the mess finds its way back. Often this happens because tidying isn't addressing the root of the problem. Instead of reducing what you own, you might be just shuffling things around, trying to make it all fit. But this can really feel like a never-ending cycle where the same items keep taking up space and energy without bringing you any value. I believe that a truly organized space isn't just about keeping things in their place. It's about having fewer things to manage in the first place. If this one resonates with you, it might be time to look beyond tidying, beyond just organizing things. Decluttering, simplifying, and being more mindful about what you bring into your home, so basically choosing a more minimalist approach, could be the solution for you. 7. You feel mentally exhausted. Do you find yourself lying awake at night, unable to quiet your mind? Trouble sleeping can be one of the clearest signs of mental exhaustion. Your mind is in overdrive, running through to-do lists or worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. I think we all go through days like this or weeks, periods like this, but if this is your constant state, it's worth reflecting on the possible causes of your stress. Reevaluating this would be the minimalist approach instead of just pushing through because everyone else is burning out too. Because even if our world is full of stressed out people, it doesn't mean that it's good for you, and you should keep going the same route if you can do something about it. Sign number 8 is you often can't find what you need. It's a frustrating cycle, I know. And you know that you have something, but you have no idea where it is. Disorganized storage spaces like messy drawers or overflowing cabinets can make this problem worse. When things don't have a clear designated place, they are so much harder to find. And sometimes it can go even beyond searching. You might end up repurchasing items simply because you couldn't find the one that you already had. If this sounds familiar, it's a clear sign that simplifying and organizing your space could help. Instead of wasting time searching for things, you can focus on more meaningful and enjoyable parts of your day. And just a reminder for you, simplifying isn't about perfection. Not always things has to be like perfectly organized or tidied. It's about making your space work for you so that life feels less chaotic and more peaceful. 9. You spend hours scrolling on your phone. It's super easy to start scrolling through social media or apps, especially when you are bored. I think most of us do this these days. But the real problem starts when a quick check spirals into hours lost every day. In these cases, you may miss out on more important things life has to offer. And instead of feeling relaxed or entertained, you are left feeling mentally drained. This doom scrolling, as people call it, might fill the moment, but it rarely leaves you with a sense of fulfillment. If this sounds familiar to you, it might be time to explore digital minimalism, so simplifying how you use technology and reducing distractions. And I believe that digital minimalism, or breaking the cycle of endless scrolling, isn't about giving up your phone or any technology entirely. It's about using it in a way that supports a more intentional and fulfilling life. Sign number 10, you feel you are always rushing and dislike that. I decided to call this one "and you dislike that" because not everyone minds a fast-paced life. Some people really thrive on the energy of constantly moving and doing and achieving. But not everyone likes that. I'm not one of those people. You might feel like there's not enough time in the day to get everything done. The pace of life can be so hectic that you are constantly running to catch up, only to have more tasks pile up faster than you can complete them. For some people, even moments that should be peaceful and calm and enjoyable, like eating a meal or enjoying a walk outside, might feel rushed. They just power through them so that they can focus on the more urgent things. This way of life can be described as grinding, which my friend defines as moving so quickly from one thing to the next that you don't have time to appreciate what you are doing or celebrate your wins. If this resonates with you, it's probably a sign that your plate is too full and it's time to start prioritizing some things more than others and saying goodbye to perfectionism so that you can approach your day with more intention and less urgency, less hurry. Sign 11, you have little to no attachment to things. This is a little bit different one. Not everyone feels deeply connected to their belongings, and that is completely okay. Maybe it makes very little difference to you if your things are cheap, expensive, old, or new. When things feel, we could call here, disposable, it's easy to accumulate clutter without noticing, especially since, as we all might note, clutter seems to come at us from all directions these days. Over time, this can lead to a cluttered home filled with things that don't really serve a purpose or aligned with your needs. It's similar to someone who doesn't really care about if their food tastes amazing or just average. Then it makes so much more sense to prioritize healthy, nourishing food over junk food if it really doesn't matter for you. In the same way, if you are not attached to your belongings, it's still important to be intentional about what you own. So I think minimalism isn't just for people who feel overwhelmed by their attachment to things. It's a tool for anyone looking to live with more clarity and purpose. Number 12, you keep watching minimalism content on YouTube, or we could say any other platform as well. If you find yourself drawn to videos about decluttering, organizing, or simplifying life, you are most likely interested in, or at least curious about, living with less yourself. Watching others transform their spaces and share their journey with minimalism might inspire you to imagine what a simpler, calmer life could look like for you, and if becoming a minimalist could bring the clarity and peace you maybe have been searching for. The good news is that you don't have to, or even, in my opinion, shouldn't change your entire life overnight. Minimalism really is a journey, and it's okay to start small, decluttering a simple drawer, simplifying your schedule, or just reflecting on what adds value to your life. Just take those first steps and see how it feels. If you are unsure where to start or want a more structured approach, don't forget to check out my course Simple Life Blueprint. The link is in the description, and as mentioned before, it's 50% off until the end of this week. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.